up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tour the underworld, popping the minter. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave. We leaving a stain, fuck up for breeze. Running the banks, causing a crash and feather the feds. Moorish the fashion, horse we was smashing. Kicking the door, waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded the brightling. The hunger was biting, biting.
Hey, I'd like to welcome you to Uplifting Heel Friday. We are live here at the Sauce Spot. I am the Sauce Guy. I'm joined here by none other than Perp 30, the energy killer, the crystal dealer. Yeah.
It's me, Perp 30. Yes, let's get it.
Check.
What's up, Black Light? We need
Really
that.
nice.
Turn the music up, baby. Hey, I need y'all to go grab whatever you're gonna be rolling up on, whatever you're sipping on. This is brought to you by Noodle Legs Radio. Shout out to Blue Pill and Red Pill.
Yes, indeed. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pill, reporting live and direct. We are on episode 179. Yes, one episode away from 180. Praise Allah. All right. How's everybody doing in the building? As you can see, we tapping in a little early. This is an experiment, you know what I mean? I'm trying out an earlier time, when the sun is out and whatnot, and seeing how this thing works. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it when we finish the episode, if this is a good time, a better time for you guys and whatnot. Or do you want to see me at midnight? You know what I mean? But the midnight shows don't really do it for me, because I get off of the line at like 2 a.m, and that messes up my grand risings and whatnot. You know what I mean? My son gotta wake me up because I be knocked out. You know what I'm talking about? So I like the early show for me. Question: how many of y'all have seen Uplift and Heal? That is the new name. That is a new show, or that's the new program that we put on this platform, featuring my good brother Sauce God and his wife Perp 30. All right, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely make sure y'all check it out. I'm sure that the majority of the people listening to me, y'all like music, right? You listen to music. This show will introduce you to new artists, and it will give you some commercial artists as well, because one thing that we don't do over here is we don't like to fake the funk. You feel me? We don't live in a bubble, and we don't pretend. Okay, we're not pretentious and whatnot. So we are under the impression that our audience is in the world, they live in the world, and they listen to a variety of music. We do catch our conscious vibes, but we don't
We're not the type of conscious people that everything else is wrong, everything else is whack. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people, because what that begins to create, and if you pay attention in this community, it creates a sense of zealousness and, I'm better than you type of attitude. And then we become no different than the Bloods and the Crips. We start set tripping. Oh, nah, this is better. You know what I mean? We thought my shit is banging better than yours. And nah. That, to me, that's lame. You know what I mean? I got away from the streets, so I don't have to deal with street shit anymore. You feel me? I got out of the streets, so I don't have to deal with the streets and the street mentality. And inside of this community, there's a street mentality that still exists. People would think that that street mentality has to do with the way that people look or dress and whatnot, and that's not exactly what I'm pointing out. I'm pointing out the mentality. You understand? I'm pointing out the mentality behind a lot of people's actions and how they try to position themselves and whatnot. The shit is gangbanging, and it's Christianity too. You feel me? It is. So be a little more open minded. That'd just be my humble advice to anybody out there. But they go through different musics and they give you the consciousness, when they do album reviews. They've reviewed Ampu, aka Bashir's album. They reviewed, I believe they reviewed my good brother. Whose album was that they reviewed? Sunshine the Divine. Shout out to my good brother Sunshine the Divine. And tonight at midnight, they're gonna be reviewing my good brother Free Soul. If anybody's listened to Free Soul before, let me know in the chat room. He is extremely talented. He has a beautiful queen named Lava, and they live on the West Coast. They have a beautiful family. They're both talented, and they're dope as F. And I'm very excited to hear the Good Brothers album. I'm geeked about it. Matter of fact, the last album review that they did was Nas, Black Magic 2, and Blue Pill was a guest on that show. So check them out. Midnight tonight. You know what I mean? As we tap in, that'll be theoretically a Friday. Also, there's a few other drops tonight of new music. So we're gonna do Free Soul. We're gonna highlight Free Soul at midnight tonight. So check them out. Check them out. You know what I'm talking about? Check them out. He was on Gully Live, and he brought up a great point about AI and giving DOC and Siegel being able to get their voice. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some thoughts on that. I read that. I saw the video where Beanie Siegel said that he's gonna use AI to bring his voice back. And yeah. We'll talk about that. You dig? But how y'all doing? Enough about me. How are y'all doing? You know what I mean? Because I don't come on these shows just to see myself. You know what I mean? I got mirrors in my house. I could do that all day. And what I really do is I like to tap in and see how y'all doing. You feel me? Because that's important to me. So, how is everybody in the building? How y'all been? Since the last time we got up, what was that, Monday? You dig? How y'all doing? You know what I'm talking about? How y'all doing? And I'm hoping that everybody is good. You know what I'm saying? I know we don't live in a perfect world, but we got to tap in with each other every now and then just to make sure that even if we may be in low spirits and we had a bad day, hopefully by being in the building with each other in a safe environment like this, I would say this is somewhat an alkaline environment. We don't deal with a lot of toxicity on this platform. I don't think, me personally, I don't espouse a lot of toxicity. I don't deal with a lot of, I'm still healing. You know what I mean? I'm almost healed, like Lil Durk said. You know what I'm talking about? But sometimes you could listen to certain people and could tell that they're not fully healed and whatnot, and it spills over into their presentation or into their personas and whatnot. So I like to say that this is an alkaline platform. We keep it real G over here. We don't try to deal with gossiping and arguing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We sit back and watch that with other people. You know what I'm talking about? So good to see that y'all good. Good to see that y'all on the up and up. And still remember, yes, that we are allowed to have kinks. We are allowed to have bad days. We are allowed to have struggles. There's nobody on this planet that goes through more shit than me, personally. I tell you. You know what I mean? Well, not that much these days. But I've lived a very roller coaster ride. I shit you not. Wait till Alex Haley writes my autobiography. You're gonna read some shit. You know what I mean? But truth be told, at the end of the day, when you look back at it in hindsight, really what it was a lot of, repeating lessons. One, because I'm very hard headed. And two, it was preparation to prepare me for the station that I find myself in today. Because if you don't think that it takes a very level head and you have to be extremely grounded to make it through this community and to be at a certain level in this community where you're exposed to a lot, then I don't know what to tell you, but I'm here to let you know this walk right here, this is not the easiest walk. It's not the hardest and it's not the easiest, but it definitely will challenge you. Did we start doing a roll call? I just been running my track. Okay. I almost forgot. All right. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. What's wrong with me? Respectfully, I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and see who's in the building. Let's do this roll call. One thing I love about the roll call is that I love to hear people's cities and whatnot shouted out. That's very important. I come from video music box era. You know what I'm talking about? We all about the shout out. So I'm big on that. And I'm talking about, so shout out to San Francisco, California. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Shout out to up in the Dumbo. Shout out to the 305. Do y'all know what the Dumbo is? I say it in the rhyme, up in the Dumbo, smoking the gumbo. I'm gonna have to do like one of the genius breakdowns of the lyrics and whatnot, so everybody could be like, "What the hell is the Dumbo?" Dumbo is in Brooklyn. It's by the Brooklyn Bridge. It's a very expensive area. It wasn't like that all the time. They just they regentrified the fuck out of it and made it like a real top destination and whatnot. But the Dumbo is Brooklyn by the bridge. I'm talking about right near Fort Greene. That's why it's right down the block from Fort Greene. Stone Mountain in the building. And the gumbo, that's a weed strain. I'm talking about, shameless plug. That's a weed strain out of New York from Luca Brasi. Detroit, Michigan. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to Grand Rapids. All right. Shout out to Nevada. Shout out to shout out to BK. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Columbia, South Bronx, BX, Spartansburg. Hey, what's good, my Spartanburg family? If I ever get on that China bus and they stop in Spartanburg, I'm gonna just go live and whatnot, so you can pull up. Chica, there's only like a 5-minute break though when they pull up to Spartansburg. They let us. It's like a smoke break. They let you off the bus. Then they got other people come on the bus, but if you in the area, just pull up. You know what I'm talking about. Kansas City, Missouri, Pennsylvania. All right, ATX. Where's ATX at? I'm kind of. Where's that at? Colorado in the building. I'm talking about. I know what HTX is. That's Houston, Texas. So ATX, is that Austin, Texas? Am I on to something? Let me know. Freedom, Virginia. From Los Angeles, but you rep in Portland. All right. Yeah, what up, West Philly? Screwston, Texas. SC, Cleveland, Tennessee. All right. Love Allah. LA in the building. Stone Mountain again. Palm Beach in the building. Hicktown in the building. Brooklyn in the building. Cleveland in the building. You know what I'm talking about? North Oakland. Khalifa. Philly. Cincinnati, Boston, Philly, Chicago, Fort Lauderdale, Virgin Islands. Too bad they don't have DMs on YouTube, because y'all would be in each other's DMs like, yo, You from Brooklyn? I'm from Brooklyn. Like, you from Boise, Idaho? I live, you know what I mean? And maybe we could make a love connection, or you know what I'm saying, or something. You know, help two people get together and start an LLC, and we're responsible for that. You know, that would feel good to me. Or even greater, if two people linked up and they wasn't creepy about it, and they become a couple or something and find love, shit, that's a touchdown right there. That means we doing our job. You know what I'm talking about? My job here is finished. My work is done. You know, because ultimately, that's what this shit is all about, y'all. Dumbo, aka San Francisco. Oh, they got a Dumbo in San Fran? Okay. I'm glad I cleared that up so nobody thought I was talking about San Francisco. No disrespect. Oklahoma, NC, Frisco County, California, New Orleans. You know what I mean? Mexico. Hey, what's up, Mexico? All right. Houston. Well, how's everybody saying? Austin. Okay, AT. Okay, Austin. Okay, we figured it out. Austin, Texas. What's happening? Where's that strip in Austin, Texas where they always fighting? Is that 6th Avenue? Ask me how I know that. They're always having fights. There's bars and shit over there, right? Phoenix, Arizona. Scranton, PA. Savannah, Georgia. Everybody's in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody's in the building. Everybody's in the building. Panama City Beach. Panama City Beach. All right. For everybody that's out there looking for love, I haven't forgotten about y'all. Look at me trying to take on everything, right? I am still working on the conscious connections. You know, time is just moving so damn fast. I promise you, I'm trying my best to keep up with that shit, but time is really moving fast. I just looked at, I didn't even know that this damn song that I be playing was out so long. What's the song? Red Opals. In my mind, it came out a few months ago, but it's very old. I just saw it when I was looking through my folder and whatnot. The shit said April on it. I'm like, God damn, shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I look up, it's gonna be December. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, time is moving. But we got Crenshaw in the building. That's right. Let me tuck my chain. Crenshaw. Shout out to Crenshaw. Shout out to Crenshaw in the building. Let me take these cups off. Shut down. I just play with you. But the plan is to develop an app specifically for those of us that are out there, you know what I mean, looking for some love, some action. And I ain't talking about, you know, action like that. You know, I'm like, people out there looking for a significant other, you know what I mean? And we you know, I was in a lab working on something for that, you know what I mean? And that's still being worked on. So I'll let y'all know. Did I see Senator Mitch McConnell freeze? Yeah, I was upset that he unfroze. I thought it was, you know what I mean? I got excited. I was like, all right, it's going down. It's about to happen. You know what I mean? We got Mitch McConnell out of here. Then he started moving again. And I was like, damn, why he start moving again? You know what I mean? Because we don't like Mitch over here. Mitch is not, you know, it's green. Mitch is, you know, Mitch is definitely on the he's on the no fly zone list. Who's on no fly? Who ain't looking for love? Those who have found it. You know, those who have found it. I can't assume that everybody's looking for it. You know what I mean? Some people may be happy. You know, some people may be what do they call it? Put up. Some people might be put up and off the market and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I do know that there's a lot of people looking for their significant other and shit like that. You know what I mean? I be, you know, I do know that. And, you know, I remember when I was looking for mines, you know, it was, you know, it was I was lonely. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But what did I do? I started working on me. You feel me? I started working on me, and I started dealing with my shadow self. You know what I mean? I started dealing with healing and whatnot. I didn't jump right out of one relationship into another one. It took me about 6 to 7 months, you know what I mean, to deal with me first. And then I attracted. I don't chase, I attract. You feel me? So for anybody that's out there who is yearning for that love and whatnot, start, just start working on you. You know what I'm saying? And affirm it. You know what I mean? Like I could show you my journals and whatnot. I was writing that shit down every moon and whatnot. I was putting it out there, but I wasn't trying to, I wasn't trying to speed up the process because I knew when it happened that it would have been, you know what I mean, the timing, it would have coincided when I was ready. You feel me? And then I had to take it slow and whatnot. And by doing such, then I was like, you know what? I'm ready. You know what I'm talking about? No shortage of married dudes creeping and NC. Phew, man. You got a white ex-biker on your tail? Man. Yeah, somebody needs to come and immediately come and get you up out of that because that's not it. You know what I'm talking about? No, no, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, it's hot everywhere. Red summer. How about that? It's a red summer for real, for real. They said that we went past global warming and we're into global boiling right now. Yeah. Y'all stay cool and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like 97 in Atlanta. Coincidentally, you would think with all of the heat waves going on that it would be like past 100 in the dirty South, right? In the middle of this whole shit, right? This is like this is the skillet right here. But to my surprise, it hasn't gone over 100 like that. You know? You said I'm heartbroken and posted up. I'm almost new. Don't rip me out the plastic yet. Yeah, don't rip me out the plastic. You know what I'm saying? I'm still getting my shit together. I ain't ready to rip out the plastic, but when I do, it's gonna look like the motherfucking Kool-Aid man coming through the wall. You know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, well, the white man, they put capes on. You know what I'm saying? Who you thought drew Superman and Batman? Yeah, it was a white man. So they put capes on. You know what I'm talking about? They come swooping in and they can read the room. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? They're not stupid. They can read the room. You know what I'm saying? They know when, they know how to return. They know how to speak to the lack. You know what I mean? They know how to speak to the lack and they can fill in voids and whatnot. You know, we need a whole show to talk about the affairs of heart. We need a whole show to talk about the affairs of the heart. That right there that's a deep dive, you know. And I wouldn't even do it. I would keep it centered. So respectfully, I would have to have the divine feminine because you know me. I could, I'm a man, so and my name is the red pill. So I could begin to tip over, my scale could become a little unbalanced, you know, a little unbalanced. Cause they'll be like, damn, red is just talking for the guy. But it's like, who I mean, I could tap into my divine feminine, but shit, I can't speak for a woman. I'm not her. I don't, you know what I mean? I could relate expertly from the position, from the vantage point of a divine masculine. I could understand the plight, or I could understand, you know, some of the mentality, but there's no way that I will position myself to speak as if I'm the all knowing about the affairs of the heart of women and whatnot, because I'm still learning, y'all. You know? Wait a minute. I love Miami. Do you think I don't? I don't. Was that to me about Miami? Because I used to live in Miami. I respect Miami. You know. You know, they got their issues, of course, but that is a beautiful place. That's a beautiful state. And I tell people that know that I tell them that whatever's on that grid, however that grid is set up, that shit is like an iPhone charger. Whenever I go to Miami, it does great wonders for my DNA. Miami looks good on me. You feel me? I literally will be sitting on a plane when we land, and I probably could start I feel my cells start shaking to the point where my leg might start shaking because immediately it's almost like your phone updating and whatnot. My DNA just starts upgrading. Real talk. And I'm contemplating coming out there for the Billy Carson's Awards this weekend and seeing Cambada and Black Magic do their thing, because that's what I'll be going for, to see them rip the stage. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm still weighing it out. You feel me? Still weighing out. They said the face card is a buck. Do you like Georgia better than Florida? That's an interesting question. Two totally different places, although they're somewhat close to each other. Two completely different experiences that I have in both places. To be honest with you, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Now you said Florida and in Georgia, so you mean the whole state, right? So you like Naples, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami. I think it's more dangerous in Florida, because Florida people are just a little more to the edge than Georgia people are. But if I were to pick one, I would pick Florida. Real talk. I would pick Florida. We don't close our the content. Once it's recorded, it's available forever until they take this shit down, and then we got it in a hard drive anyway. So if you bought a ticket to American Gods, you could literally go and watch it right now. You know what I mean? The Ra'aku. Shout out to all of my students too. The Patreon. We doing Ra'aku next Wednesday. Pause. We're gonna start that class next Wednesday. Let me pull the flyer up real quick while I'm talking about it. Shout out to Ra'aku. Shout out to Chicago. We got the 4-week classes starting next Wednesday with Ra'aku. And we've already started Solid Gold Sundays with Chicago Crypto Block Bully. We are into week 1 already. We're going into week 2. And yeah, I definitely suggest it. Anybody that wants to learn anything about crypto, stocks, savings, anything dealing with getting to the bread, tap in. Okay, we have multiple classes that are already recorded. You just got to catch up. You know what I mean? And for this brother here, if you want to learn anything about astrology, if you want to know yourself, if you want to learn how to read people, if you want to tap into anything dealing with high level astrology and cosmology and the cosmophysics, then Ra'aku is that guy. You know what I mean? I don't deal with the carbon copies. I only deal with the originals. No disrespect. That's why you see me with Ra'aku and Chicago Crypto, because they didn't come. Nobody came. They're not parakeeting or following nobody's work. They built they self. I seen them in real time. They designed themselves. You know what I'm saying? And they stand and as I look around and I'm like, these brothers are original, and I respect that. I have a pet peeve against people who decide to copy others and don't give them credit. I'm like, you could copy niggas, but at least give them some credit. Say their names. You don't like DeSantis for Florida? You don't like him? He's a challenge. Like, he's an anomaly in a sense. You know what I mean? He's almost like But I get it though, because I don't live in Florida. So I don't really, you know what I mean? I know that he's really on the edge and whatnot. But as melanated people, sometimes we have to take our emotions out of certain things. You know what I mean? You're caught up in the middle of a fight between the left and the right. This is white violence. You know what I'm saying? And he's shitting on black people in affirmative action and all of these things because he just hates the liberals. He hates the left. And because we've been, you know, somewhat pigeonholed and stereotyped as Democrats, then we get shitted on as well. I don't think that we should be Democrats, and I don't think that we should be Republicans. I think that we have enough reason to start our own party and really close the door and be militant about not letting anyone in to infiltrate and to F up our quote unquote message or our mission, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be, when we decide to create our own political party. But I'm sure that one of the foundations of the political party will be reparations, right? And another aspect of the political party will also be self-reliability. You know what I'm saying? Not depending on the government, being able to prosper on our own, just leave us the fuck alone type attitude. You feel me? So I'm a proponent of reparations, right? And I'm definitely a proponent of the fact that both of the political parties, through their inception, right, and through their history and through their timeline, we can show evidence that near one of them are for us. They're not pro anything that we're about. So we can exist amongst each other without all of this mob mentality where you want to get violent and you want to act like you want to bang on another. But nah, fuck that. It's not that serious. Nigga, leave me alone. Let me build up my communities. You feel me? Let us elect our officials to speak for us. We need spokeswomen and spokesmen who are not bought and paid for and who are not out there twerking for the Democratic Party and whatnot, because we've seen too much evidence to show us that that is highly ineffective. And I'm really tired of playing this cat and mouse game. It's embarrassing. You know, it's embarrassing. We need to find ourselves a state that we agree upon and really lock that down. You know, and really lock it down. You feel me? Really lock it down. There's an article today that showed that crime in Atlanta, more importantly, murder. I'm going to take you to the article. More importantly, murder, right, is down. Now, I remember when I lived in New York City, and I really don't know, I can't tell you necessarily what exactly drove the crime down in New York City around that time. I don't know, right? I'm not really 100% sure, to be honest with you. However, the city was quiet, you know, it was toned down a bit, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have to deal with a lot of the things that we dealing with now and whatnot. It was becoming safe. Not to say that, you know, shit wasn't happening and whatnot, but not at a pace that it's happening, that it was happening prior or where it's happening now. You know, it definitely helped the real estate. It helped a lot of those things, businesses and whatnot. And then 2020 came and it just plummeted. It just went, all of that progress literally went out the window. Literally, the shit just completely got thrown away. So I said, what year was that? That was 20. This is before. I'm like, I don't know what happened and all of that. And I'm playing retardo. Yeah, I know what happened. Tekashi 6ix9ine is what happened. I'm talking 2015 and 2016 and whatnot. Gangs or gang culture had already permeated New York City radio, right? With the first major act out of New York City that was gang related that began to, because it's one thing to be gang related and be a rapper and whatnot. It's another thing to be gang related and get on the radio and then everybody starts becoming a gang member. right? Who wasn't even thinking about that shit, who's not even built like that. And this is not their path. This is not the journey that they was on. So they pop up, they put Bobby Shmurda and them on the radio 2014 with Hot Nigga, and that begins the seed planting and whatnot. That's the sesame seeds that they start spreading into the minds of the impressionable youth and whatnot. And prior to that, they was already gang banging, but this accelerated it to a degree. And then in 2020, which would be about 6 years later, after being exposed to the music of the Young and Mays of the world, who else was it? It was Young and May. She was a Blood. It was Tekashi. He comes in 2017. Casanova, right? Your man's that's 2017 around that time. You know what I mean? Jim Jones, right? The resurrection of a Jim Jones, because he wasn't even lit like that, but then he gets resurrected when all of that Suwoo and that gang shit starts reintroducing itself back into the New York shit, because at one point we was done with that. There you go. My bad. It wasn't Tekashi. It was this bit. It was Shorty right here. It was Cardi. You know what I'm saying? She was the one who came. She came before Tekashi. And then she was the one that kind of had the shorties on some old red with the red hair and everything. And she kind of was giving it a revival, right? But as you could see, she kind of like, she came in on the Blood shit. And then after she got with Offset and whatnot, that shit went away. That nigga saved her. You know what I'm talking about? Because she wouldn't have never been where she is right now. You feel me? She would have never been where she is. I don't even know where she is, but she wouldn't have been superstar status like that if she didn't have Offset. If she was dealing with the nigga that was locked up, Tommy. Yeah, I remember because I was watching Love and Hip Hop in the beginning when she came through. I'm gonna talk about Sinead O'Connor. I put her in the bar. You know what I mean? I put her in the rhyme. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna talk about Sinead. And she kind of like gave it a little spark and whatnot. She gave it a spark. And then Tekashi comes and he gives it more than a spark. Because remember, as a lame, right? As a lame, this is what the danger is. If you a super tough street dude and you come out and you repping the gang and whatnot, lame niggas won't feel like joining the gang because they like, I can't keep up with this nigga. They know that they not cut from that cloth. They know they not built like that. You feel me? So it won't necessarily entice, people who should really be in college or should really be picking up garbage. You feel me? Or should really be a mechanic or some shit. You know what I mean? Dudes who's supposed to stay in that lane. Now they want to be in the gang. Now they want to be gang. These are the niggas that get their heads blown off. These are the dudes that we be, you know what I mean? These are the dudes that flood your timelines with all of them fucking flying doves and RIPs, because once again, people are putting themselves in places where they don't belong, and there's repercussions to that. And when you're dealing with the trenches, the repercussions is a body. You feel me? That's the repercussions, and that's what we've been seeing for decades and decades, since like the crack era. People hopping off the porch when they should have been hopping their ass into college, and niggas hop into college and then hop into a gang. How you going to college and you a gang? These niggas was at Clark University being Bloods. I remember being down here and seeing it. I'm like, how y'all come all the way from New York to come to the AUC to be a Blood? At Steagles? In front of Steagles all day, nigga? Like, come on, cut it out, bro. Go to the fucking library. Because nobody's trying to follow that bullshit that y'all on. Gangs are for dudes that like going to jail. You damn right that's what it's for. You know what I'm talking about? Gangs is for dudes that are like Little J in them. They like lap dances from Transformers. Come on now. So when Young and May, Young and May, she comes out before Cardi, but Young and May is LBGT, right? And she's a girl, so she didn't have the same impact that Cardi had. You understand? The dynamics was somewhat different. She had a one hit. You feel me? She had the one hit thing going for her. And yeah, she definitely influenced some of the AGs and whatnot to start banging and whatnot. But I seen the impact of Cardi, and then I seen the impact of Kodak. And then after that, the Crips come into the picture with fucking with Pop Smoke. That's 2019 or 18. And after that, after he gets clipped, you feel me? It's almost like when they clipped him, his spirit just expanded. You know what I mean? Once they clipped him, his shit just expanded, and his influence blanketed the city and whatnot. And dudes definitely, the explosion of the gang wars and the drill. Because
number of homicides.
Keep in mind, Young and May comes out, Cardi comes out. They're in the gangs, but they're coincident. Remember, they're not doing drill music, right? So even like with Lil Wayne and the impact that he had, making all of these rappers want to be fucking Chris Brown is a blood, nigga. Like, come on, fam. If I was in the gang, if I was a blood, I'd be embarrassed. You know what I mean? You niggas got everybody in Hollywood as a fucking blood. Like, it takes away from the facade. It waters it down. You got fake Michael Jackson as a blood. All right, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not impressed, nigga. For real. Y'all just, you know what I mean? I'm not, which I can come up with a new blood dance. Y'all trying to go against the Crip Walk. You know what I'm talking about? But once they put a music sound to it, once they adapted a whole dance to it, a music sound to it, and everything, and they called it drill music, out of here. Because they was watching, people in New York was following drill culture since Chief Keef and them, since 2012. Remember, if you watch G Herbo's video, G Herbo was like, yo, I was watching New York niggas. That's who influenced. He was called No Limit. G Herbo and them. They was jacking what Harlem was doing, right? And like I said, Harlem and Jim Jones, he introduced the Bloods into New York through him, and I think they even made Weezy blood. Real talk. I think they the ones that blooded Weezy in. And not the other way around. You know what I mean? So even with Jim Jones repping the blood, yeah, there was a bunch of people in Harlem and other places that wanted, but I didn't see nobody impact gang culture more so than when Pop Smoke popped up. That's when everybody started. Because like I said, the drill music, it's like you in a gang, but you're not making music. Now there's an artist who's topping the charts. He got to dance. He's in the clubs. He's not dusty. He's making music and he's banging. Oh, nah. That was too much of an appeal for the young niggas. And that's when they all became gang affiliated. So the homicides skyrocketed, crime skyrocketed, and now New York is Gotham City. Whereas they were almost out of the motherfucking, they was almost out of the grave. They was on their way up, right? They was on their way up to whereas New York City was going to become a very healthy place to raise your children and whatnot. Because, don't get it fucked up. I don't support that gang shit. I don't support that Crip shit. I don't support that blood. I don't support the street. I don't support the killings. I don't support that. I don't. You know what I mean? I do not. I've worked very hard throughout my life to help balance that shit, to bring some type of, I could walk amongst the trenches. I could walk through the trenches, but, my message is raise your vibrations. You feel me? My message is raise your vibrations, and not only raise your vibrations, but, I might have been, Mac 10 was signed to Cash Money. Did they start banging back? Did they went Suwu back then? I might be a little bit wrong with the Wayne shit. He probably was banging, but he really started repping and throwing that shit up when he was around Jimmy and them, and he started fucking with Harlow. You know what I mean? Then I really started to see him rep that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They definitely they was pushing that. They was pushing that. You know what I mean? The media pushes that blood shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it fucked up. Like I said, the record labels would only sign artists in New York if you was gang affiliated. The gangs run the entertainment fraternities. And that's what it appears to me. Cause how you gonna be in a gang and you be in the industry getting punked by punks? I don't get it. You was going to New York to visit, but nah, I'm a Chicago girl. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't understand. It's not what G Herbo said it. I didn't say it. G Herbo said that he was jacking. He was jacking the Harlem niggas. He was jacking New York. This nigga name his fucking gang was called Dipset, and so did Dirk said. I remember repping Dipset, and G Herbo was No Limit. Like, let's talk about it. They wasn't talking about their gangs. They said I remember repping Dipset. Famous gang members as feds. Exactly. That's what we see with Keefe D. The situation with Keefe D, who went around bragging about killing Tupac. And he bragged so much that his ass is about to get indicted. You know what I'm saying? He didn't brag about killing him personally. He said, I was in the car. Well, you in America, fam. And according to the laws in America, if you say that you said it out your mouth, I was in the car. You was in the car? You an accessory to murder then. He said, I gave my nephew the Glock to kill Tupac. Woo! You gave him the murder weapon? Oh, nah, nigga. So then allegedly he said that he cut a deal with the government years ago. So he thought that because he cut a deal with the government years ago and he signed a proffer and he sent other gangsters to jail, that he was clear. And then he went on Vlad. And this nigga has been on a whole podcast campaign talking about his crimes. He wrote a book, fam. That's how bold he is about it. He walking around. Nobody touched nothing on his head. Nobody said nothing to him. In LA, I'm sure a nigga seen him in the airport. Ain't nobody did a thing to him, but they claim that they love Tupac. So now, instead of the streets handling the justice, they got to let now everybody waiting for the feds to go and get him. These is gangsters. These so-called street people saying, yeah, Keefe D going to jail. But he killed your man. You know the young niggas wouldn't be having that. He killed your man, fam. What you doing? I rely on Bed-Stuy to shut it down if I die. They already saying that they running around saying who killed Biggie now. Everybody's snitching. So, good news coming out of Atlanta. We talked about this before. If anybody remembers the trip to Stone Mountain, matter of fact, we'll take a trip and probably go and look at that footage. You know what I mean? Keefe was the last one left. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. All sins come home to flock. And the sins of the father, it will visit the child. So he got to look out for his sons and whatnot, because that is a very backwoods, activity. I mean, think about it, y'all. Look how far clout has taken certain people, right? And I'm sure 400 plus of us, we're not from the streets. We don't understand street politics. We don't know how deep it goes. But a lot of us watch Netflix and, we watch those true crime type things. So we have some type of insight, right? Now, according to street politics and street rules, gangsters don't get on the internet. Gangsters don't talk on podcasts. They don't get interviewed by white men and tell them all their business and whatnot. they don't volunteer information, because anything that you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. People understand that. And they're talking criminology. They're like, with the power of a camera and some fucking ring lights, bro. They sit back. They don't even got to. I don't see these dudes sipping or drinking or nothing except Drink Champs. They'll go sober and get up there and tell the truth, because it's that goddamn camera. It's the attention economy. It's wanting to go viral. It's wanting to shock and awe. You know what I mean? And then they got diarrhea of the mouth. When did that fucking happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, when the hell did that happen? Because I never seen that before. You know? There was a whole war and a bunch of people died in Compton over that. Right. I heard about that. Keefe D, however, didn't get nothing. You have a war, but the general is good. So he killed Pac, right? He the one that said he was in the car, and they said because Orlando got his arm dislocated, it was impossible for him to be the shooter, right? Because his actual shooting arm was in a sling dislocated. And when the eyewitnesses talked about the arm that came out the car to shoot Tupac in his car, it wasn't the complexion. It all of the descriptions matched it. Keefe D. So a whole bunch of people, that wasn't in the car got killed, because Orlando and his other man got killed later on for some other shit. Okay? So once again, more people died. More people died. You know what I'm saying? And nothing ever got solved. The person who killed him was still walking around. And niggas in LA knew that, and y'all didn't do nothing. Okay? So people that claim that they love Tupac, right? You won't never catch me falling for that okie doke. It's a bunch of cat. You feel me? It's a bunch of cat. And we said it before. For the people, and I don't give a fuck about that gang culture or the politics. If you live in Los Angeles, California, and y'all niggas running around throwing up and y'all still repping those gangs, and those gangs really killed a lot of rappers and whatnot, I mean, that's the goofiest shit to me. But once again, I'm not from out there. I'm not a part of that culture. So I'm just saying, from an observer point of view, that shit is real wild to me. Like, they killed Nipsey. They done killed Nipsey on y'all in front of y'all. They killed Biggie in front of y'all. They killed Pac in front of y'all. How many other rappers? Name some other ones, because they done murked a few others. Shit crazy, man. And y'all still repping these gangs and throwing them up. That's because that means y'all scared. The fuck? That means y'all scared. They killed Biggie and the whole Brooklyn turned Crip. The Crips killed Biggie in LA, and the niggas in Brooklyn walking around cripped out. Like, take that L, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Take that L. Yeah, and Keefe D is the only link to Puff. So it's Keefe D and Puffy right now. You understand? Because Puffy, they say, they talking about a possible Puffy link, P. Diddy link. That he didn't pay the fucking ticket. You know what I mean? Because they said when they knocked Tupac off, it was killing two birds with one stone, because they said Pac already had a hit on his head. Puffy put $1 million on it. But after they beat up Orlando, Keefe D and them was like, fuck it. We gonna bang for Orlando, but we gonna bang also and get this money from P. Diddy. And P. Diddy never paid him. So this old washed up dude, right? He out there counting niggas' money, right? Because you see him on the podcast. Yeah, Puffy bought this nigga a truck, but he ain't do nothing for me. Yeah, I seen Puffy. He was on Drink Champs, and he gave a nigga a chain. Puffy, what's up with me? You remember me? It's Keefe D. It's me, Keefe. You treating me like dog shit. If you don't shut your old ass up, nigga, you sound so retarded. And you hot too. I want to stand next to you. So he dragged Puffy into this shit. And he the kind of old head, he like 60 years old. If they snatch him up right now, just based off of the activity of how the young boys is moving, he taking them with me. Yeah, he was paying them with concert tickets. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? A real P. Diddy move right there. A real P. Diddy move. Yeah, he better go chill with Russell and skip the Invest Fest. Because it'd be crazy if they get his ass right there on that stage. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? So 2023, on my bingo card, I did not have this on my bingo card. But allegedly, they saying that your man, Sean Combs, is being looked at by the Las Vegas PD as having some involvement in this Keefe D type shit. It just depends on how much because if they don't have Keefe D by the balls, he won't give up P. Diddy. But if they found some print on the Glockington, if they could draw, because they took some bullets out of his house, if they could draw something, well, we gonna be looking, it's gonna get spicy in a minute. It's gonna get spicy in a minute, So, homicide in Atlanta is down after they took Young Thug and them niggas off the streets. Okay? Let's just be clear. And I said it, I pleaded, and I'm not saying this has nothing to do with me. I'm not that big-headed. But I do remember getting on top of Stone Mountain on September 11th and saying, when they gave me the opportunity to speak, they're like, Red, what you want to say? How you feeling? I said, well, I don't got much to say, but what I do want to say is I wish that the violence and the murders and the negativity and all of the things that are plaguing this city and whatnot, I pray and wish that goes away. Okay? Because it's beginning to affect, right? It's beginning to affect the energy out here. Just the energy, because the energy in Atlanta was not good. It wasn't good, I promise y'all. It wasn't a good energy. It was not a good energy in the A, bro. Was not a good energy. It was a very dark cloud over Atlanta. Very dark cloud. If there's anybody from Atlanta that's on the show tonight, right? Can you affirm what it is that I'm sharing with the family, that about a year ago to this time that we're in, it was a feeling of non-safety out there. Like anything can happen to you at any time type of feeling, type of vibes. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see. I ain't even watched this thing for a while. Let me pull this up. I'm going to share this with y'all. This was me on Stone Mountain. I'll get back to this article in a minute. Let's just pull that up. I'm going to just see if those affirmations, because it was really an affirmation. You know what I mean? It was like a prayer. It was a prayer.
Up here. You got mamas. I seen them carrying their seeds. Give it up to them. Yes, 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 yes. This is 1 mile up. This is 1 mile up. You got little children that brave this mountain. I seen them. I see them. Give it up to them. I see them. I see them.
Y'all can hear it.
I see them. They will never forget this. This is, we living in the age of experience. This is all about the experience. It don't matter if it rain. It don't matter if Jesus comes down from the clouds. If you experience it, it's yours. Jesus. And Spirit is telling me that the sun's finna come out. We about to see our powers. Because this happened already. We've been here before. We've been in the mist, but the mist or the morning dew is special. Let it fall on you, right? Don't feel a kind of way. You good. I'm here to remind you to stay protected. A lot of great things are happening in Atlanta. Like Mama Tassila and Rich said, we babies. We gotta forgive whoever got us here, right? If not for them, we probably would not be here. Nothing is happening happenstancely, right? So, but we're babies in this journey right here. And we're like each other's parents. Henceforth, while we gather, right?
Yeah, the sun came out
Remind ourselves
about an hour after
the
that.
tribe is here for each other. This journey at the mountain is similar to this journey in consciousness, right? It's foggy. It's cloudy.
That's right.
This shit hurts your glutes on the way up.
That's right.
There's a lot of weight on your back.
That's right.
You be wanting to give up because of the mist. You can't see the mountaintop.
That's right.
I was
Some of us
spitting.
make it to 90%. That little rock down there where niggas be sitting on. We coming to Texas. If y'all can come to see us, we can come to see.
Poking. He been poking.
I've been poking. A lot of things been moving around. Ding dong! Out there. We threw the bait out there.
Yes, sir.
Right? Then profit right there. That ain't no real queen. Only queen. There was a woman on the throne. We live in a new day now. Yes. You didn't even think it was possible. But we live in a day where the potentiality and the possibilities are endless. Right? So we are here, right? Like Sister Myra said, Daughter Earth, Mama Universe, we are here to assist in the restoration of the throne of our set by any means necessary. Right? So let's walk in our power, let's talk in our power, and let's live in our power, and let's live in the know. So repeat after me, right? I know.
I know. I am God.
I know. You didn't even think it was possible. But we live in a day where that a certain entity, a certain power was going to be removed. You didn't know this. We put the date out there. We threw the date out there.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah, I can't find that shit right now. But yeah, I was spitting. You know what I'm talking about? I was definitely spitting, and the message that I shared on that mountain while I was having this conversation with that beautiful group of people is that I put the energy out there that Atlanta needed to clean up. The energy in Atlanta, it was thick as a fog. I got a guest in the building, so you know I got receipts. You know what I mean? I got somebody that could definitely attest to the conversation that we was having. So without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the line for my guest tonight. And I'm talking about it's none other than my brother, Blue Pillar.
Peace to the God.
What's up?
How you?
Peace to the God. Oh man, all is well. You know what I'm saying? All is well. Don't you know? We're here. You know what I'm saying? I'm honored to be here.
Indeed, indeed. A lot has transpired since we last, shared the screen together. Just in the amount of 2 days.
See how fast the news cycle going? It's like a hand in Vegas.
After American God 7, and already there's been a significant paradigm shift that pretty much alters the course of history forever.
Forever. For sure. That's why you're here, so we could talk about it, you know?
Right. So the day after American God 7, we find out that Travis, in fact, had been canceled. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The decree came down the next day, around the time we must have, right after we got off the air or something.
And the day at a time is when it canceled it.
Day at a time. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the next day, the official, the beginning of their new year, the first day on day one.
Okay,
You know what I'm
yes, the
saying?
first day of the new year.
Started
Right.
cycle,
We was
cycle
in a
out of
day
here.
at a time.
We was in the day at a time. We was in the 0 point. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Next day,
Yes.
day one, first day, out of here. Right? I'm gonna read what they said.
Yes, please read
We
it.
regret to inform you that the Utopia show, originally scheduled for July 28th at the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, is canceled. Unfortunately, despite highest efforts, complex production issues meant that the show cannot be constructed in the desert. We understand that this news is disappointing and not the outcome of any of us desire. Refunds will be issued to all ticket holders at their point of purchases. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this cancellation may have caused and appreciated your understanding. We remain committed to bringing exceptional live performances to fans and, so on and so forth. So, as it was explained, what I'm saying, in the discourse, and I was really looking towards the end so I could give like a end summary. You feel me? Because you
Yes.
finish and you're like, I wanted to say this. I should have put this that way, and you know what I'm saying, brought the point fully home on this, and you know what I mean. All of these things that you think about after the fact. Um,
Oh, after your lecture
yeah, after my
segment.
segment, then you were going during your segment. Then I thought that I would be around towards the end to do a ending, an ending
Um, uh,
argument, and I wanted to sum a lot of things up and just make
well, let this
certain.
be the epilogue. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the title right now. This be the epilogue
Right.
because you was probably sleeping at that time, right?
Yeah, I had knocked out, but I did hear a good portion of your lecture, and it was amazing.
Oh,
And the
thank you, brother.
synchronicity factor. Me explaining Crowley, I didn't really get so much into IWAS and why, my observation of what these people are accused of practicing is not so much Satanism, but more so Crowley magic by way of OTO and different derivatives of these sex magic cults. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, right,
On one side, you have the Bacchanalian nature, and on the other side, you got the Caligula nature. You feel me?
right, right,
So, but they still operate, as these, on that particular frequency and that energy, and but you can see evidence of that, with the linen sheets being pulled from Hollywood and Hollywood, and all of the child rings and things of that nature. This, you know what I'm saying? That shit goes all
right,
the way to the top.
right. Hold
So,
on. I don't mean to cut your wisdom because what I want to share is that what you were just, I'm adding on what you were saying about the child's rings because people overlook the fact of sex magic in its perverted sense. You know what I
right,
mean? They giving them names like pedo and stuff like that, but they're not, because it's such a sensitive topic, people are not going deep enough into say, nah, it goes further than just regular maps, minor attracted person. No, we're talking sex magic of the darkest and the most depraved order and whatnot. But go ahead.
right. So that level of depravity that is really tied into these particular citadels of power. Hollywood definitely being one of them. Harvey Weinstein being a gatekeeper. Jeffrey Epstein being a gatekeeper. You feel me? And then so many other tentacles pointing to people who still roam around today scot free. You know what I'm saying? But now they focusing on the other Scott. And I find it ironic that on the same day that they canceled out his performance, right? Sinead O'Connor, the Irish woman, right, who went up against the Polish Pope, Pope John Paul
Mm-hmm.
II, on October 3rd, 1993 on SNL. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Um, she made transition at the age of 56. And remember, 56 is an automatic 44 ringer because 56 and 44 equal 100. So every time you see 56, you automatically see 44, you know?
Right.
But she was one of those ones, you know what I'm saying? And we definitely have to speak um, a level of respect to her name for who she is, what she stood for, what she stood on, right? The prices that she ultimately had to pay, and then we
Right.
can take a observation as well and say this falls under this whole Leo energy as well because she died from a broken heart. So you seen
Right.
Bronny catch a heart attack the other day, him being the son of the king. All Leo
Mm.
motifs, Leo dealing with children, Leo dealing with the king, Leo dealing with heart, Leo dealing with ego, Leo dealing with, you know what I'm saying? You know, all of the things that Leo deals with, and we see them personifying and playing themselves out symbolically in the majority of the news stories that people are talking about.
Right.
So she died of a broken heart from a loss of a son, all Leo
Right.
energy,
Her son just died last
right?
year.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But she had that warrior spirit. She
Yo,
stood.
Blue.
Look, hold on, and she was the first one publicly to make public statements about sex trafficking and child abuse to that degree, and specifically, she levied the charge against the Vatican, against the church, right?
Right.
And she had evidence. There was villages and things of that nature that she was speaking on behalf of. It was people who she personally knew who were
Right.
victimized by these campaigns.
Vatican girl.
Um, I mean that, yeah. You know, we often speak about Vatican Girl. And Vatican Girl is an issue they just brought back up. You know, in the judicial system out there with the Vatican. So they
But what she was saying in her interviews is she was like, look, we knew about the Vatican Church before all y'all did. We have our receipts
right.
because they were asking her, why did you come out? She said, shit, I just was early to the party. I decided to get in front of the story because we knew what y'all were about to find out, that the Vatican was the center of abuse and basically, it was the language wasn't as heavy it is today. And you didn't have to have heavy language back then because first of all, the
It just
media was
wasn't
different. It was right.
right.
Media wasn't as sensationalized as it is today. You didn't have 100 media channels. You only had a few. If you got up there and said something, then people were taking that shit for what it was. They was like, wow, you know what I mean? So she was very impactful in her
She was a
in her
disruptor. She
she was
was
a
a major
disruptor.
disruptor, and she was one of the first disruptors. And she was one of the very first ones that we seen. And yeah, Sarah Connor, Sinead O'Connor, that's always how I looked at it. I thought that they prototype, you know what I'm saying, one after the other, but one came before the other. But that's the type of war that she signed up to fight. You feel me? And
Yeah,
she knew that she was gonna pay the price for it, and she took it like a G. You
yeah.
know, and I would
How you
recommend you
know?
guys to watch. She has a documentary um, that I watched last year to kind of laid it all out. You know, give you the backstory about who she is, where she come from. You know what I'm saying? The
IRA.
historical fight between her people and the church. You know what I'm saying? That's something to go all the way back to Braveheart and shit. So
Right.
you know, and then like I said, she's the Irish, and then the Scottish is Travis. So you got the red house and you got the blue house because his name is Travis Scott. If you make that Trav, that's traveler, and Scott is the Scottish man. So he is the traveling Scott. He is a Mason,
Right. The group is called The Scots with him and Zesty
right?
Man.
Right. So I put a post up the other day. The guy, again, the day after the lecture, the webinar on day one of this Mayan
Right.
calendar. And why does it apply to us? Because the Mayan are our children. If we're the children of the Olmec, if we say we standing on business here in the Maxim, that's the history that you standing on. That's the frequency that you align with. Those are the mathematics and the measurements that you have to be mindful of because they're right and exact. And they're dealing with your knowledge, the Baktuns and things of that nature, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
and we all share the same land, and the land is it permeates something called Wakan or Wakanda, is the spirit of the land. So that land permeates through Amexem. America's one continent. It has no borders. It has no demarcations or separations. It's one solid border from top to bottom. So if something is permeating and affecting one part, then it's affecting everything. And there's parts of this country that are Mexico, that are Maya, that are Mayan.
Right.
Film 630, like we showed in the lecture, right? 630 in gematria equals pyramids. And then the next day, guess what Travis Scott's caption was? Pyramids in quotes, not the pyramids, but pyramids, right? He went straight for the alignment with the gematria, because 630 equals pyramids, but it also equals Mayan calendar, right? And it also equals the amount of days from Dystopia, which was Astro World on November 5th, 2021 in Houston, right? When them 10 bodies got caught.
Right.
And then 630 days later, he would have been at the Giza Plateau. You feel me? Jamal performing, open for Utopia. Both of them equal 44 in gematria, by the way, as we showed and proved. All of this was in the webinar, the lecture, bro. So I'm like, the way that we laid it out and the way that we made it plain, you know what I'm saying? for the shit to shift the way that it did the next day, I said, look, what I really needed to explain was that there's a different, when you talk about, they said they protecting the ancestors and sacred rituals and ceremonies, but these are tomb raiders. These are people that will read the encaption on the sarcophagus that says that these guardians are in place so you don't disrupt this body and this journey to the afterlife, and don't ever take the lid off. They would remove those, read the inscriptions, and then remove the lid. Right. And then pray to Allah that they don't get the quote unquote curse that was promised to them. You feel me? So they're phase navigating different levels of magic, because they're doing incantations. You know what I'm saying? They're doing incantations over incantations. So it's a battle. It's a battle of the magic. Whose magic is stronger? It's a domination matrix that's taking place, with these people crushing and suppressing other people's entire cultures and then speaking on behalf of them. It's like the hell that is spoken of in the Quran, you know what I'm saying, is that Muslims have a visualization of, based on, you know what I'm saying, the description is not the same quote unquote concept of the afterlife and Kemet, which does not necessarily include that. You go to the weighing ceremony, you feel me, and you will be fed to the crocodiles, but you know, it says nothing about any of those other quote unquote repercussions that you have to face for eternity and burning in hellfires and things of that nature. I don't think that it was speaking on that. It was more so speaking on the alchemical process of transformation. You feel me? And overstanding the energy never dies, so all things must be recycled back into life. And this was an integral part of the teaching of that particular culture. So to say that something is satanic when that culture doesn't even recognize Satan in it, you know what I'm saying? They didn't say Setian, they didn't say Typhonian, they didn't say it was Consunian. You know what I'm saying? They said it was satanic.
No, because the Egyptian authorities are Islamic.
Right.
They're speaking from an Islamic perspective. Like they usurped. They're not speaking from they're not speaking from a comedic standpoint.
The measuring stick that they're utilizing to determine whether something would be hospitable or equitable to our ancestors, of which they
that's a Muslim country,
genetic relationship to, but more so someone such as him does, especially since in his music he espouses his connection to Ampu, and he understands. Yeah, he understands certain aspects. So in his performance art and what he represents, in the what you call like the arcane, the academy, the craft of music, which I've been, I was about to put this picture up yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to. The picture of the 7 steps of the liberal arts. You know what I'm saying? The 7
Yeah.
Masonic steps. We could get past the
Music at the
spookism
top.
when they hear that name and they get spooked, right? But this is the quadrivium. These are the 7 steps or stages of masonry. It's called liberal arts. They teach them in schools as liberal arts, right? The quadrivium:
Yes.
grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. There you
this is
go.
all qualified by something called improv hip hop. Right. So if you are engaged in a real time of what's called improv hip hop, freestyling, right? Let's say one of them freestyles where they pointing shit out in real time.
Like how
and you
KRS
put
be doing.
it together. Yeah. Or if you battling, but you freestyle battling, like you coming off the top, you are
Oh, rebuttal, they call it.
utilizing, yes, all 7 of these liberal arts, right? All at once to put together your improv. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As evidence
Mm-hmm.
that you are the master mason. So I said, magic is the manipulation of magnetic fields. And if you are a musician, then you are if you are a musician, then you are a magician.
Right.
Right? Because with music, you can manipulate magnetic fields.
Damn sure can.
Right. Evidence of such. Have you ever heard a song and it made you get goosebumps or made the hair stand up?
Yes, sir.
Right?
On
Or made
many
you get up out of
occasions.
or get, you know what I'm saying? Get on your good foot.
Those hymns. I remember going to a funeral and they had the hymn. They had the hymn book.
Have you ever heard music that's resonated through you, warmed you up,
Yeah.
or gave you a chill? So it manipulates magnetic fields. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's and it's a long list of other things that qualifies. So you're naturally magicians. Like you have what it takes. So yes, he is a magician. Yes, he probably even dabbles in darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to put him in the light. You know what I'm saying? And let's see the ancestors, handle that situation in real time so the whole world can bear witness to it if that's the case. Wouldn't they want to really show their hand and give them a
But
spanking?
when you think about it with Egypt, it ain't like they let Beyonce go and perform. It ain't like they let, I haven't seen no melanated artists ever rock out at the. They didn't even let Earth, Wind, and Fire pull up to Egypt. If they did, I haven't seen it. Stevie Wonder, none of the greats. If hip hop is 50, like I said on earlier shows, when I heard about Travis Scott and Kemet, I was like, you know what? That's cute and everything, but just tell me why isn't Run DMC or they giving dudes one song sets at like the Essence Fest and whatnot. You getting one verse at BET.
One verse.
Like Big Daddy Kane came out and hit him with one verse and had to get the fuck up out of there. And I'm like, if hip hop is 50 years old, whoever Travis's plug is, what was it, Ticketmaster? They should pull a move and get our people. That right there is a way to honor the craft at 50. What other place but to do it? Fuck Radio City Music Hall. If y'all niggas been doing all of this for 50 years just to get in Radio City Music Hall, then you bums. You ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, that ain't one hell of a trade-off.
Yeah, that ain't it, bro. They done did stadiums. Yeah, they done did arenas. They did the Fresh Fest in '84. So the next step naturally.
Not even Carnegie City Hall. Like, come on.
Right. It's like somewhere in Dubai, somewhere in Africa. Set the stage up. Call Burna Boy and them. You know what I mean? Give them a big stage, or put them in Kemet by that. Because I didn't even know the pyramids was letting the acoustics rock. But they said that they've been doing that. This wasn't the first one.
They said Russ did a concert out there.
Russ, what the? Don't let me get belligerent. Not Russell Simmons, right? Russ.
No.
That's the nigga you listen to, right, Blue?
Nah, son.
It wasn't?
I don't know nothing about that. No, that's
okay.
That's not Lil Russell.
Oh, it was Nav.
I listened to Lil Russell, yeah.
Oh, it was okay. It was one of those Russells. It was Lil Russell. No shots taken. That's your man's in them.
That Lil Russell, yeah.
Lil Russell.
Yeah, Lil Russell. Not Laurel Russell.
Not Russell Simmons. Lil Russell.
Yeah.
Not Russell Wilson. Lil Russell. Yeah, shout out to Lil Russell though. You know, shout out to Lil Russell. Do you think he's gonna make a hit though, Lil Russell?
I think
he got it in him.
I think he's gonna catch one of them vibes, one of them songs that bounce, that's catchy, because he can make anthems. And I think that somebody,
I'm hearing a pigeonhole sound in him.
I think somebody mainstream gonna throw him on. He gonna do a feature that he shine on, and he gonna get his his legs underneath him.
Right.
Yeah, because when I hear him on tracks, it don't snap as much as the freestyles or things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
You're a timeline rapper.
It's yeah.
He looks good on my timeline, but I want that to translate to the club or somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got to give people something they can walk with. An anthem.
Right.
I know he got it in him though. He just got to catch it.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
But I mean, like I said, the emphasis should really be on his motto, his revolutionary motto. That should be studied. I feel at a collegiate level. I feel at a technological level, even you know what I'm saying? Because if you can level up on that model, you dig, like you could really do some things, because that's a winning model for the future.
Oh nah, that's the model for the future.
Allocating ownership to your listeners, letting them buy in and getting points. You know what I'm saying? People really investing in your entire catalog.
Yeah. Especially with Web3, blockchain, all of that shit in the forefront. You would think that, his model is the model. It is the most viable model moving forward. I had said something today in a post and I was like, damn, bro, because I was listening to who was it? Somebody triggered me. And I just was like, well, God damn it. You know what I mean? It's like, how is hip hop 50 years old and niggas are still getting jerked? I'm talking about the same way. There's no ingenuity in how they jerking these dudes. They're just really recycling.
If it ain't broke, fix it. Yeah. So they ain't hit no bumps. They ain't hit no speed bumps yet. So it's like, why would they switch? Why would they switch the model if it works?
This is why they didn't hit no speed bumps though, Blue.
Because still raping you records, man.
They're raping you records. The reason why they didn't hit the road bumps is because the old heads, instead of helping the youth, I think it was Ice Cube on Cam, on whatchamacallit, on It Is What It Is podcast. I was listening to Ice Cube and I was like, what the F? Like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't the youth being kind of like, and I understand there's answers to it, like the youth, they don't want to hear from the old heads. My proposal is there needs to be some type of orientation or entry level type of test that these dudes should be required to take before they even consider signing a friggin' contract. But why would the labels ever do anything like that It's basically like we're gonna catch these spring chickens who can't read, and we're gonna get over on them.
Yeah, yeah. The labels ain't gonna be the ones to stick their neck out for that. You know what I'm saying? They like if they fall for that, they fall for that. You know,
Blue, I didn't even really. Yeah, I'm also about the old, like the old heads. They got jerked. They don't have nothing. They gotta watch the young dudes, right? Who getting jerked and still got more than them. So it's like, damn, you would think that y'all would form, not like you watching all of these strikes taking place. There's a writer strike, Blue. There's a strike in Hollywood with the writers, but that's coming from the union. Here it is, y'all are in music, right? And you're in the way that you guys are accumulating. When you look at the because I was looking at the amount of money that music generated, and then I was looking at the amount of money that movies generated, and then I was comparing that to the game industry. So music and movies are like neck and neck. They have a union.
Mm-hmm.
Music don't got a union. These old rappers are still, they don't got dental because they don't got the veneers, right? They have liver, heart, lung issues. You feel me? Cholesterol and all of these other things. So what is it going to take in this 50-year cycle for a group of them to come together? Specifically, it would come from like the Melly Mel's in them. You know, the Grandmaster Casses and the Melly Mel's, the foundation layers. They're about to have, they opened up a museum. Once they put a museum together, fam, you're an artifact. So you still don't have a union. These artists are still going in these label meetings butt naked. You still haven't even found a viable law firm. You know what? I'm not going to tell you young rappers anything because y'all know it all. Here's the approved law firm that will take you pro bono, right? Any incoming rapper from New York or anywhere that's about to sign, this law firm specifically will read your contract for you and help you out. They'll take you in pro bono to make sure that they don't do you like they did us. That's all I'm saying. And if I ever get on a microphone in front of these legacy rappers and all of that, I'm gonna disrupt and I'm gonna say some shit that I'm gonna need answers because it's just too much going on. You know, the cycle, the repetitiveness. It's a 50-year loop, and I'm like, fam, if we go into year 51 like this, I quit. I'm not even. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear one rap song ever. I'm gonna divorce it, bro. I'm going to Afro beats. Motherfucker with it in them. You know what I mean? Because I think that they got a little bit more together out there in Africa. They're not getting jerked by old small hats at the Sony building. Coming out of Ghana and what, unless they sign to the majors, but they making money on their continent. Them people got to go over there and try to jerk them. So, yeah. What do you think about Braun? Lil Bronny?
Again, I'm looking at, the Leo aspects. I'm seeing the motif of the king. I'm seeing the motif of children, which is his child, which is his son, which is another Leo attribute in the heart. You know what I'm saying? Do I think that it was induced, by a medical procedure? Quite possibly. But
right.
I also know enough not to speculate on it. There's certain things that I do keep to myself. For reasons understood by journalists. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be liable.
You don't want to be liable.
Yeah, I don't have that as a fact. So I would not even offer my opinion necessarily, but my observation, you know what I'm saying, immediately what I heard in my mind when I saw the story is that, oh, this is going to be, you know what I'm saying, reflective of X, Y, and Z. Even if it don't, it's still gonna, you know what I mean? It's still gonna blow flames on the conversation. It's gonna be ongoing as it deserves to be, because there should be answers, like you said, by the sheer fact of the numbers of people who are suddenly, all of a sudden, dropping and dying suddenly, or just dropping, period. You feel me?
Right.
And for these particular displays, the ones at least that we see that are public? What about the ones that we not seeing? What about the ones that are not being reported? So what's the odds? Like I often tell people like, what do you think the odds are of you
Right.
seeing something, what cameras rolling and you able to catch it to that degree, then that incident has to be multiplied so many times. You feel me? About shit that you're just not seeing. You know what
Like
I mean?
athletes falling out or young people collapsing
Just people, period. Young people,
because it's
athletes,
happening a lot.
all of that. And, you know, like I said, I will not forget what I seen in that documentary. There's a few things that need to be discussed. My eyes ain't motherfucking faulting me. They was doing the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they seen some shit. They all died in that frozen, you know what I mean? Particular posture. It's almost
You
like they
said
were scared
people,
to death.
well, heart attacks.
In the documentary, died suddenly.
Oh, yeah, crazy,
Right?
bro.
They were pulling them alien blood clots out of them.
Right, them big boys.
Yeah, and I've seen more footage on things of that nature, and them joints been 2 feet, crazy looking shit. Like, so this stuff is not stopping. Um,
How does that
so
affect
yeah,
his prospects for go to the NBA?
I think that he's gonna be, scrutinized in terms of all of his tests, his assessments. They're gonna almost treat him like a machine. You know what I'm saying? And it's always gonna be looked at as a potential clutch because he's chasing his father, automatically when he gets in the league. So the bets,
A,
the wedges,
a cardiac arrest, Blue. You know how severe that is? A cardiac freaking arrest, a heart attack at 18, bro. So anytime, even if he makes it to the league, he's under a microscope.
yeah. Like I said, he's under the microscope. He's gonna be subject to almost like machine-like monitoring in terms of his investment. If he
He's a
expects,
$1 billion prospect.
what I'm saying, if he expects to get that $1 billion investment based on his $1 billion valuation, then he's gonna have to be, open to the level of scrutiny that's gonna be very intrusive, at a very genetic level. And then, these become those very touchy topics with them because they don't want shit spilling out. So you don't be knowing the pressures that they put on people to tell a particular narrative and not tell the world how they really feel. You know what I'm saying? Like this Jamie Foxx shit is kind of different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's that angel to be like, yo, just sit this one out. Just look from a distance. And that other to be like, yo, nigga, I know you're not gonna let this shit just go without you talking
Right.
about it. This
You gonna
some
let
bullshit.
you
You
gonna
see
let
this
Jamie
shit? Come
walk
on,
around like this?
yeah, I got balls. Let's go. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
conflicted. You know
I'm
why?
like, nah, chill, son.
Yeah. My confliction comes in a point where I couldn't really, my heart wasn't ready for Jamie to go like that. You know what I mean? I just wasn't ready to
Yeah,
accept that Jamie was gonna just leave us. So
yeah.
seeing
I
him,
ain't
even though he was jacked up, I was biased and whatnot. It was like I'm happy to see him. I didn't have the reflex of what's called uncanny valley, right? Uncanny valley is it's a condition that people have when they look at robots, when they look at clones, and when they look at humanoids and whatnot. It's a reaction that we get when we see something that's not human trying to be human. Henceforth, why so many people hate Sophia, the robot. They don't like those humanoid looking robots. They get nightmares. They get scared. I was traumatized as a kid. I'm still looking for the name of the movie, Blue. And I don't think that you was awake with me. But I saw a movie about dolls and cloning. We was probably like 8 or 9. Scared the shit out of me for life. You feel me? But it was something about, it wasn't even about, it was the doll that fucked me up. You know what I mean? And this wasn't like Annabelle or nothing. We was 8 years old. I'm a little jit. And it was late
like,
night.
I'm here for you,
Huh?
bro.
You here for me?
Man, we can talk about this shit afterwards.
Yeah,
Right.
I think I need a hug or something, man.
You had
But
like a
anyway, huh?
you had a pre-Chucky moment. It was like one of the little white dolls with the flicky eyes or
It
something.
was a white doll. This was before Chucky,
Porcelain.
bro. Fuck me
Yeah, the
up.
porcelain.
Was that Dolly Derek?
Dolly Derek.
Was it Dolly? You know what? It was so traumatizing that even if I see it again, I probably wouldn't even remember it, yo. It was just it hit me at the moment. But what it was, in hindsight, it was the response that I had to something that wasn't human that looked human. You know what I mean?
Right.
It didn't do it. It really like so. There's an actual thing called uncanny valley, and I didn't, and I felt this way seeing people who I felt were cloned before. I didn't get that reaction with him. I just felt a heavy sense of sorrowness. Like, damn, my nigga going through it bad, but he alive though. I'm looking at his eye, the shit, he don't look blind, you know? And I just said the same thing that you said. I said, I'm not gonna go, it's not that I'm not gonna research. I'm gonna go and do the deep dive. I'm gonna go get on my Scooby-Doo. We will investigate it. However, for now, he gets to chill with his daughter and everything, because you know, time will tell. His daughter got Twitter. She'd be like, that's not my daddy, y'all. And then I seen him with the nigga, you know, homie to always be with him with the beard. He was on Versus with him dancing. He's like a socialite. It's his right hand man. You know him.
Yeah.
He been in the industry. You know what I'm talking about, right? I seen the video with him next to Jamie. So I was like, all right, that's like how Steve be with Keys. So I'm like, if I see him and Jamie together, then I gotta start, you know, so the investigation is on.
Right.
But we need evidence, y'all. I really don't like where this community has gone. I be seeing people trying to sound like you, Blue, with the breakdown. I watched a video today where somebody was doing etymology, and that shit was like, it was etymology from O Block. You niggas done, y'all ghetto-fied etymology, fam. They ghetto-fied fucking tarot card reading. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the way that they taking this breakdown shit and the decode, they done bastardized it. It don't. So now everybody's a clone. Look at his ear, y'all. Look at his ear. Everybody's a clone without real proof, right? And then if they're not a clone, it's like, where do y'all be getting this shit, fam? Like, give me some fucking proof. I'm with the shits. I will follow you if you could prove it. But your closing arguments, you niggas can't send YN Melly. You couldn't send YN Melly to jail. Like, all of the internet sleuth shit, it sound cute and everything, but it's a form of entertainment. A lot of it don't hold no weight because you can't prove it. I don't know you dudes good enough, and I don't trust y'all niggas enough to go on face value. Your face ain't good. Your face card is not good with me. Just so I go for face value because you said it. Nah, fam. Oh, Gilly sacrificed his son because you said it. Nah, fam. I'm not with all of that. People, I was gonna bring that up earlier because I was like, damn, because you brought up Sinead O'Connor's son. The shit hit me in the head like, yo, mad people. Tina Turner lost all her sons. Whitney Houston lost all her children after. Like, fucking Sinead O'Connor's son. Like, all of these children of these celebrities be going out bad. And nobody can, like, I mean, there may be a few sacrifices, but God damn it, it's more about deaths of despair, overdosing. These children feel completely ignored. They grew up already in a weird environment. The parents was weird. You know, all of that shit been going on. So yeah, man. It's crazy.
And then the UFO shit, yeah, you know what I'm saying, took place as well. So all of this taking place at the same time.
Look at this.
And what was
Gilly got Young Thug locked up, and I think that got him a seat at the table. Then he had to sacrifice. See, y'all niggas need girlfriends, man. Y'all need girlfriends. Y'all need jobs or something, man. Cause this shit is getting out of hand. What the fuck is that right there? He got Young Thug locked up in the interview, right? That's what happened. And then they gave him a seat at the table.
it's
And then they said,
you
after he got the 10 million, he already got it. It ain't like they said, kill a kid, then we're gonna give you the 10 million. Him and Wallow got the 10 million, and then they gave him a call one day and was like, you gotta pay up, right? Pay what? Interest or tax, nigga? Cause I already got the money. The fuck? Y'all gotta get off this internet with this shit. I promise you. I am going to turn into y'all worst enemy if y'all keep up with this goofiness, because it's making everybody look bad. Years and years of people's well-thought research is going out the fucking window because how people on the internet, y'all just following these trends. Shit crazy, bro. Y'all got to do more research, man. Like, and then it's yeah. Should be crazy, man. And we allowed to have theories. That's why it's called conspiracy theory. No problem. But presented as such. Niggas be pushing shit like it's a fact. It's not a fact. It's a theory. And you're allowed to have a theory. But that's not a fact. Give me some insight on this UFO hearing, Blue. That's your they stepping into your neck of the woods.
well,
They did that on a day at a time, right? Because all on my timeline on a day at a time was the UFO hearing. Or was that today?
day at a time, more than likely. Yeah. So, like I said, the day at a time, they missed the X rebrand in one day. That would have been perfect for the day at a time.
Right.
The day at a time, the X day is the 0 point. But nonetheless, the next day, from what I remember, or the day of, the UFO story starts popping off, and somebody's at a hearing. It's about disclosure, and he's a whistleblower, and he said that they have retrieved, you know, biological non-human bodies from these crashes, and they're in possession of these biologics. And he didn't give
Right.
too much of a description. What I
Right.
found very interesting, coincidingly at the same time, Dr. Stephen Greer is on Vlad, you know, and again,
Going in.
I'm not a watcher of Vlad, but there are a few episodes that I could not have ignored, like when I seen Mecha Audio's episodes and Lou Sims, and you know, in this particular case, Dr. Stephen Greer is dropping it. And today, an episode came out, and you know, he's a vital piece of the component because he's explaining how bad uh, disinformation is in this particular space, of which he attributes 90% of the information that's accessible is disinformation. And he's
Right.
explaining the cabal behind it. He's explaining how far up it goes, and it's inconceivable if you really are not able to wrap your minds around, you know what I'm saying, this level of complicity to engage in creating what he's calling you know, a concocted alien invasion that's going to unify people under one banner globally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then on his end, he's given the information that is more so credible that you can do your own energy readings on. You know what I'm saying? And according to his estimation, he said it's between 60 to 7 species
Yeah, walking.
that they
That's what
know
Dr.
about,
Blair said.
right? Um, you know, as small as 3 inches, all of probably up to however many feet. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's a whole level of variations.
Yeah, yeah. Shit, I heard even smaller than 3 inches, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Who am
Yeah.
I to say? So yeah, these some interesting times. Feel me? These some interesting times, and
Definitely what we would call um unprecedented. I don't recall any time like this prior. You know what I mean? Where information was coming from so many different angles, you know, and not just regular information that could potentially shift reality as we know it or the perception of. This is perception shifting information that's coming out. But they
yeah,
pushing that alien shit hard. 23 is the year, like you said, it's of AI, alien invasion, bro. They're pushing this shit. It dominates the 23. But it's like they wanted to catch, and they keep throwing things out there hoping to catch. But like I say, we are from the show me state. We've been so conditioned that we got to see the alien. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
is gonna.
yeah.
Got to see something.
Gotta
They're
see
trying to
something.
elicit a response, but
Gotta be spectacular too. You know what I
it
mean?
gotta be spectacular.
Gotta be spectacular. Our
We
people
need to
is
see some shit eat up a stealth bomber. You know what I mean? Like we need a light show in the sky. Like nigga gotta hop out that shit like Tom Cruise and whatnot. The alien do some double flips in the sky, like slow mo it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like we need to see something. Right? Maybe if they get off the shit with the clones, that should be lit. You know what I'm
lit
talking
with the
about?
tower. You know?
With Tyrone and them niggas. That'd be a fucking movie, nigga. They get off the air if they get off the shit with Michael Jordan, nigga. Michael Jackson, nigga. Then we talking. Would Prince get off first? Then James Brown. Then fucking Tina Turner. Then Whitney Houston. Then the alien. Like, what's up, niggas? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we've been
And the
doing
alien
shows
look like
throughout the
King
universe.
Kong. Yeah, niggas is really gonna turn up. Alien is King Von and shit.
Yeah,
Dickie Double.
so people's immediate response is always gonna be Project Bluebeam. And I
Of
mean,
course.
from what it sounds, yeah, like what it sounds like, what he's saying, based on what the whistleblowers are providing, is that that's what they are edging towards, a public spectacle that's going to be concocted, to throw people into a frenzy, so they can snatch even more rights and consolidate governments and create a one world order with a quote
Make
unquote
make
threat
peace with
from
China.
beyond. Yeah, a
Right.
threat from beyond that unifies humanity under one banner, one government.
It's gonna be all dramatic. They're gonna have the UN, the Geneva shit, the emergency shit, and you're gonna see Putin hugging Biden while he's shaking and what. Come on. Y'all ready for that?
Yeah, yeah. Theater, you're gonna get it.
Straight theater.
So you gotta have discernment. This is the age that we're in. It's not where we're moving into. It's where we at. What is your level of discernment? Nobody can see for you what you need to see for yourself. Your eyes are
Right.
connected to your brain. So, you know what I mean?
Right. I
You
want to
gotta make
share this
sense
real
of it.
quick with you. This is the definition of the uncanny valley. And the reason why I want to show this to you, Blue, is because I specifically recall a situation that we had in Venice Beach, California. And I would share with the fam that there may have been times where you've seen something or someone and there was an uneasiness, your spider senses, or you began getting goosebumps and whatnot. You were
That
repulsed
inner
by that
feeling,
person.
yeah,
Hmm?
that inner feeling, that inner twist is like, yo, something ain't right. It's a feeling
Something ain't
that you
right.
get. It comes you. I can't explain it. With me, it was a rush. So it was a rush and a flush of energy that overcame me. I ran into a reptilian in Venice Beach, and we were brought there specifically
To see them.
to observe and encounter and see this particular entity. And as promised, we seen it. And when I seen it, a whole nother, like, I've never had that feeling or response that my body went through before, so I can't even explain it.
Right.
But yeah, it was unreal. And this particular entity, it felt like we had a telepathic conversation right
Right.
in
Right.
that second. Communication was
Yeah.
had telepathically, you know.
Was it Malachi or was it Elijah that talked about the spacecrafts and stuff like that first? Because Malachi don't come before Elijah, fam.
Yeah,
Huh?
Elijah spoke about the wheel. I said
Yeah.
Elijah's on record speaking about the wheel
Yeah.
before anyone else. From our pantheon, that we can, put a name
What
to
if Jamie
Malachi.
faked the medical issue for this?
Yeah, I don't think that happened. Um, I was about to say that Malachi added considerable layers to it, by speaking specifically with a lot of detail about origin points, names, backstories. You know what I'm saying? He tied it into the historical concept of Enki and Enlil.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, different eras, different teachers, different information, some of which overlapped. So I would say study both if you want the
Right.
fullness of that. Yeah.
Right. So me and Blue was in Venice Beach. Blue spotted humanoid, right? So the uncanny valley is a term used to describe the relationship between the human-like appearance of a robotic object and the emotional response it evokes. In this phenomenon, people feel a sense of unease or even revulsion in response to humanoid robots that are highly realistic. Okay, so everybody ain't with the shit. You know what I mean? They don't want, they become completely freaked out. Right? Here are different examples. The movie Cats. People were having nightmares. They were walking out of the movie theaters. It was too realistic and whatnot. Right? Shrek, the the first movie Shrek, before they had to change the princess to look more cartoonish, because when they were doing screenings and whatnot, the princess looked too lifelike and the kids felt unnerved and they began getting frightened and whatnot. So they had to make her more of a cartoon. Okay.
Mm.
So if you recall having feelings like this, right, seeing someone or being around somebody, right, at the water cooler, on public transportation, in the airport, at the beach and whatnot, things like that, then you may have what is known as the uncanny valley. Because yes, I do believe that there are humanoids who are robotic and whatnot, that they're testing, and they have their military bases, and they have these test subjects in public. But then there are also people similar to the movie V that Blue encountered, who we would consider to be extraterrestrial.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that shit had him spooked for a minute. Was we on shrooms that day?
Now we had
You remember?
they baked us cookies and put weed in it.
Oh, some edibles.
We had some edibles, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, edibles. So my heart was beating faster. I was like, nigga, I just seen a reptilian.
yeah.
Motherfucker, his day.
Did you see Megan? You seen the Megan movie?
Yeah, Megan was wild, son.
I ain't see that. Because once again,
Yeah.
she gave me a feeling of the uncanny valley in the trailer. I didn't see Annabelle. I didn't see Meg. I didn't. And it could have something to do with my childhood trauma from seeing the
Mhm.
doll movie, bro. You know what I mean? I really don't know, but I'm not into stuff like that. I wasn't into that. Nah, I wasn't. I was like, I'm good on that,
Good thing I
and
slept through
not
that.
even on some. You slept through it, went into your subconscious.
Yeah,
Non-playable
we gonna say
characters are real. I'm gonna keep it. I went on another deep dive with Pinky Doll
all right.
the other day on
Pinky
TikTok.
doll, huh?
I like her. Yeah, Pinky dog. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, she Dominican, I think, or Cuban. She got the wild accent, you know. And like I predicted, that trend has exploded on TikTok. She's like the queen of that shit. But they got a bunch of people who really, that's why I be saying, well, people be knowing how to mess something up. She had that shit on lock. I was convinced when I saw her, I was like, this is an NPC for real. And now they got all of these people doing it and they goofy and whatnot. They not doing it right. You know what I'm saying? So that's a trend that needs to die real quick.
Fuck the thing up.
They monetize weirdness. There's some geniuses over there, whatever they do, but they monetize. It's not just weirdness. It's something that you know, because I can't call what the new generation do is weird. You know what I mean? They're just different. You feel me? They're eccentric. You know, and they've been able to monetize, you know, eccentricness, and we could judge it from where we stand. But I think that when we were younger, some of the things that we probably were doing were considered to be a little weird themselves. So, you know, I'm not gonna be one to get caught up in these TikTok trends and start labeling out what's weird. All that shit weird to a degree, but it's a level of entertainment, and then they monetized it. So once they monetize it, it's a job to some people. $800, $1,000 a day, just, you know, doing a NPC characters. Or hey man, when that goddamn Vision Quest, when the Vision Pro come, when they really introduce augmented and spatial and virtual on them, you think this TikTok trend is a crazy one? People are really gonna turn into NPCs. So yeah, man, shit crazy. And speaking about NPCs, did you see your bro? Did you see Mitch McConnell the other day?
Yeah, all of this on the
The
same
hell is
day.
he going through?
All of this on the same day. So
Yes, yes, yes.
he's glitching. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going through. Think about this: the leadership of white America. I mean, the leadership of America. These old white men. All of them is on the ropes. Trump just got hit with 4 new charges. Look at Biden. Look at Mitch McConnell. But yet you
Look at
making an
his son.
excuse.
Right. Hunter. Hunter was in
Look at
court
Hunter.
today.
Right? Look at what all of them is going through. They on the ropes. They tapping
Right.
out. You know,
Right.
rest in peace to the Obama's cook. You feel
Right.
me? Like,
I seen a
damn.
video where that nigga was swimming like Michael Phelps.
I'm like, damn, Barry, you throwing your hat in the ring like to catch up with the Clintons? Let's not do this. Let's not be replacing dynasties. But you know, I mean, if you in the club, you in the club. And that's not
Right.
their first rodeo, according to the records that was kept. I ain't gonna speak on that. But
Right.
you know, I pointed out that his name was Tafari. He died on the 131st birthday of Rastafari, who was Haile Selassie, on July 23rd. They said he was 43 at first, and somebody told me he was changed to 44. You know what I'm saying? There's a prophecy in Israel called the 44th king of Israel. And, you know, this is why initially they were observing and looking at Obama, and even their rabbis, they were writing about it. They were shaking in their boots. They was like, yo, this dude fulfills prophecy. We got to keep an eye on him. He's not under our control. You know, there's beefing. The evangelicals were beefing. The esoterica community was calling him Akhenaten. And
I remember that.
And then later on, all of this turns into truthers and birthers and things of that nature that was coming for him, snipping at his ankles.
Right.
But, you know, he's considered the king of kings. He's a Leo. His middle name is Hussein, right? He was the leader of the free world who got the codes to the nuclear button. He was the most powerful melanated man on the planet at one point for 2 terms.
2 terms. 8
For
years.
a decent block of time. Me and my lady, we was with Teach the other night, and he had on Vice, the movie about Dick Cheney. And if you're reminded about the time that we went in the presidency of George W. Bush and the criminality factor, people don't mention it. They don't speak about it no more. But
Oh, no, they swept that. They they they
the
they completely deleted that file.
blatant the blatant disregard to any law that was taking place. They was rewriting the law. This is where the infringement on the law took place. And they was using presidential powers to rewrite all of the codes in real time. That was the Bush era, right?
Yeah.
But he was getting caught in lies and he would push on the gas even harder. No apologies. That's where Trump got his gumption from. Feel me? And then
Their
Obama.
trauma was so crazy. They traumatized the American public to the degree where motherfuckers just caught amnesia on them. And then
Yeah,
Obama was the band-aid. Obama was the dopamine.
right. Guantanamo Bay, right? Waterboarding, torture campaigns, Halliburton,
Blackwater.
invading entire Iraq, knocking the whole Afghanistan, 9/11, it's Blackwater,
2 trillion missing.
The 2 trillion missing on 9/10. You know, reading books upside down.
Dodging
all
the
of
shoe.
that. All of that. And they was able to slip up out of there because the euphoria, the utopia, right, of Obama coming in, you know what I'm saying, was a dopamine factor. But I remember you saying the day after the election, how the energy already shifted when them people had to go back to work. You know what I'm saying?
Immediately. Remember, it was the scene where Bush and them was going to the helicopter and they was handing over the keys. And then it was still in the open if he was going to prosecute. So why would the question even be, is he going to prosecute Bush? Right? Why would the question even be, will they hold Bush and Cheney responsible? Responsible for what? People forgot about that because they were so enamored. It was one of the cleverest, most wisest thing, because if Hillary Clinton or anybody else were running for president, the Bushes and them would never gotten away because they would have still held that shit over their head. It was that whole, it was the dopamine, it was the hopamine of Obama that basically put our people into a Hiram Abiff state. We were literally asleep in a shallow grave. I personally put myself on the cross and said that I drank the Obama Kool-Aid, and I'm guilty for that. You know what I mean? I thought we was gonna get it cracking, you know? But the day after, I realized that we was hoodwinked and bamboozled. Even to the point, you want to talk about clones, niggas was like, yo, when he went in there to put his hand on the Bible the second time, they clipped him and cloned him. Because they was pointing out, yo, that's not homie. That's not the Barry. That's Barry. That ain't Barack. That ain't the nigga that I was riding for. The energy shifted.
Yeah. Now, I remember when they took him downstairs, they took him on that president tour when you first check in. They took him on that elevator. Now we see what that elevator be.
Yeah.
They took him to them labs underneath.
To that lab.
No, he seen his clone.
Because he seen his clone.
They said he came up there with the white.
He had, because he inaugurated on the Bible twice, right? I remember going to the inauguration. It was Brick City out there, bro. And the energy, it just felt weird, man. Felt weird. I was like, why am I even here? It didn't feel like the campaign. And it didn't feel like a better tomorrow was coming around or nothing. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? So yeah, those days, those was the days.
Yeah.
Those was the days.
For real.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, that incident took place as well, right? So again, you know, very interesting chain of developments, the way that these bricks are falling, you know what I'm saying, and lining up.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. So Yeah, you know, so
Funny that you
Rastafari would be
mentioned brick. It was told to me in August when the BRICS conference come through, they're gonna. I think it was Robert Kiyosaki that said it. He's
Kiyosaki.
pushing Kiyosaki. He's still banging on the warning bell, saying that when
Right
they
down the
link
middle.
up, they're gonna dump the dollar and they're gonna introduce a gold backed currency, and that's gonna be the death knell for the dollar for real, for real. So he's encouraging people to buy silver, precious metals, gold, and crypto. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm gonna talk to crypto about that in our class on Sunday, because he usually he shreds that shit. He tears a lot of things apart that I be thinking is viable news. He'll clip it
Hmm.
like, nah, that ain't it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else?
So so we 2 hours in, fam. We're not gonna keep this thing going too long. Before we get out of here, your takes on Twitter rebranding itself X to be the everything app.
Mm, you know, I want to see what comes with this. I want to see what he can implement with
Familiar
AI.
with WeChat?
I know about it. I've never used it, but I definitely heard about it out of
No.
Asia.
Go and get the yeah. There's documentaries on that shit. Go and watch the history of WeChat, how they came up, and what
Okay.
exactly that shit is. Very, very interesting. That's why when he said the everything app, I already knew. And then he mentioned the fact that he wanted to be like WeChat. I was like, yeah, he's running with the
Right.
whole social, because that's where social credit is locked in. It's the everything app. They do everything on it. And when I say
Right.
everything, I mean everything. So yeah, because a lot of
Let me
people are
check
like,
it
how
out.
the hell you throw that branding away? He just fucking destroyed the branding of Twitter. So I'm assuming that if you're gonna throw away all of that, all of those years of brand recognition, that you had to convince your shareholders and other people about the importance of what you got coming, because that shit gonna be a killer. You know what I mean? So if it mimics WeChat, yes, killer app, AI, everything included. I mean, everything. So we'll see. You know what I mean?
We
Um,
shall.
Travis Scott tonight. Free Soul is dropping at midnight. We got Source Guard coming back at midnight, y'all. Source Guard at
Okay.
midnight for Uplifting Hill. Source Guard and Perp 30. I highly encourage y'all to pull up. Make sure you following the page, first of all. Make sure you're subscribed. We do have a goal of reaching 100,000 before the end of this calendar year. Make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the notification so when a new episode goes live, you guys are informed and whatnot. The brother will be going live at midnight. Definitely pull up to check out some music. Free Souls album is fire. You know what I mean? They will be reviewing it, and I believe Free Soul will be here as well. He's a special guest. How did you like that? I was there for that Nas review, Blue. Are you
Yeah.
still living with the Nas album, or
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got to play
okay?
it in Miami. I got to play it in the whip. This shit
Right,
knocks even harder on the replay than it actually
right,
did when I was listening to it on a computer in the phone in the crib.
right.
I mean, I'm on the fence about when he attempts to triple flow. Like there's just certain flows that he's being experimental with that I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, you know,
Yeah.
it be his other flows to me that's more complimentary with his, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah,
So
it's
you saying you
still
don't need him on the double time right now?
it don't always work for him. I just
Yeah,
leave it
yeah,
at that.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying?
Yeah, Sam got off. Sam got off. I don't think he got off the
Who?
whole shit. Friedman.
Wow.
Yeah, they threw away one of his cases in New York. They dismissed that shit. Threw it out.
And
Yeah.
see what money buy.
Phew. Man, you talk about it.
He got a
Talk
$25
about
million bell with a pen stroke.
with a pen stroke. You know what I
Yeah, he
mean?
should set up different.
Did you see the video where Beanie Siegel said that he gonna bring his voice back with AI?
Nah, but that was something that I thought about in my mind for him and DOC.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, and he
They
said,
need to
hell
right.
fucking yeah.
They need to
He
shit
said
to
that's his best
RFP.
friend now. Huh?
Huh?
Beanie
They
was
need to.
like, AI is his best friend.
I can imagine he could get his voice back now.
He get his voice back because he said a blurred pulled up on them and showed him how to program the AI with his old voice. So
Yeah, yeah,
Beanie been going through it. You know what I mean? He lost it. He
yeah,
lost his magic. He lost his shit. So he
yeah.
like shit. My pen still work. I just needed my voice. DOC the same thing. DOC is the ghostwriter.
I want that for DOC for real. I
I
want that for
want that for
Siegel.
DOC. I
You know
do.
what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
would be revolutionary. Um, yeah, it's an amazing way to use technology. I think that's exactly how to utilize that. Get them brothers their magic back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, Magic 2, fucks with it, Joe.
Before we close
And,
out, give me some commentary on Gilly Fest. Leave us with that knowledge.
my sentiments are that,
I'm gonna go to his page so we can see who's performing. Let's
the
go.
only way we can change something is if we change it. And this would be a beautiful opportunity, in the spirit of his son to say enough is enough. You know, sacrifices have been made. And what I mean by that is not saying, he signed up to offer his child over. I mean that he lost his child to the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that would make people, say, yo, this is just a situation that I don't want no other parent to feel this. You know what I mean? If we're gonna interrupt it, it needs to be interrupted now. You know, we have to see that there's a direct connection to this frequency and the fact that we're losing our children, and then making music glamorizing and gallivanting about it. You know, that does not bring good karma. That does not bring a legacy. You can't be performing this 50 years from now in front of my grandchildren and my children and my old lady. And I don't know if we're thinking that far into the future, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, the majority of the artists, that are on the
This
bill,
nigga
they
got the most
represent,
toxic niggas in America.
yeah, they represent a particular frequency. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna come on any other energy. Finesse 2 times. I fuck with him. And I don't know
He
every
gonna
other
bring
art.
that little nigga out with him, Blue. Come on. He gonna bring that 10-year-old fucking felon with him.
I think Mills is very talented. No, I'm saying even the content of his music got heavy content, and I don't want to sound like
He
C. Delore.
Blue, he got a 10-year-old,
Yeah, I know.
got King with him.
I know. I'm just talking about on the merit of his own music. You know what I'm saying? Let me
Oh, on the
let me
merit of
let
his own shit. Super
on the
ignorant.
merit of his own music. You know, I like some songs that I hear. But that don't mean that it means that it's not ignorant, or because I like it is automatically high frequency. That's not the
Right.
case.
Like it's cleansed
You know
and
what I mean?
shit.
It's
Cause the
yeah.
Pope,
It's,
cause the
it's,
Pope
it's,
like it.
because the Pope like it. Pope got a playlist. It's not puritanical. You feel me? But at the same
The
time,
Pope with the
um,
shits.
yeah, like he represents a particular frequency, just like everybody else do. This on the bill, and it's going to be complimentary to the audience because that's the appetite, that they're coming with. This the energy that they eat,
It's the
and
murder
and
capital.
yeah, in the streets there's a feast. There's a feast on that ethereal blood that comes by way, of this music representing the deaf culture, and the sacrifice has to be a black body, and it has been getting what it's been asking for, and it's growing like a Borg. So, are you ever gonna get in front of it? Is anybody ever gonna challenge it? Is anybody ever gonna call it out? Are we ever gonna stage a war to fight for our children? Because our children is what we offering up to the motherfucking grinder. Yeah, Freeway, Oskino, and Gilly all lost their first son, all out of Philly. You know what I'm saying? Those killing fields is snatching, and these are children presumably that have fathers in their lives, whose fathers have quote unquote made it, who put on for their city, legends of their cities, but their sons, you know what I'm saying? What sin of the father visited them child, but the children got clipped and the parents are still alive, but they
Right.
represented a frequency, you know what I'm saying? This for that city, but encapsulated, hold on, like a global movement that may have in some places boosted crime rates. They name was state property. You know, that identifying marker within itself without putting it in its full perspective puts people in the light code lockdown. They are state property, right? But we can't gloat at that, especially if we want to come up from underneath it.
Right. So
You know what I mean?
me
Yeah.
and you had. Let me talk. Me and you talked the other day on a live. You almost took the white off and ate my food, and you was going in on Gilly and Wallow. He was like, Wallow that nigga. You know, Wallow's the only one that's, he's the righteous one. Gilly with the shits. Gilly with the shits. And I was like, all right, I get it. But I didn't realize how much with the shits until I looked at this flyer, Blue. This nigga's with the shits, bro. He's with the fucking frequency, for real. He's
But
attracting.
I'm basing this off of the Gilly that I met in 1999 up in the studio with DJ Clark Kent when we was running with Franchise with Gravy and them.
Yeah, I know.
So observation of who he has been during his time
goes all the way back then.
With major figures all the way up until now. He's always been with the shits. And he upholds that frequency to the degree that, yes, this is exactly how a Gilly Fest would look. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have, a responsible approach to life and living or what have you. He has done very good for himself, but he's tethered to the streets. You know what I mean? And
right.
It's just a frequency. It's almost impossible to say, because when you are that, that's what you are. How can you separate yourself from what you are? You feel me? It's almost impossible. And it's almost impossible for me to say, damn, what will it take for us to see, what the results are, or that we can sacrifice our personal ego. Now, this is about Leo energy as well. Your ego to be sacrificed, to be like, yo, that was too much of a loss. I got to do something so he don't die in vain. How can I save these other children? How can I stop this cycle? How can I really be the king of my city? You know what I'm saying? How can I
the Gilly Fest and tapping into something a little more, healing?
That in honor of in homage of his baby, he probably can be like, this the music he fuck with. These are his heroes. He helped me put this lineup together. Like,
more than likely, yeah.
Just how I'm gonna relieve my pain. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not gonna heal. It's not gonna heal, Blue. It's going to exasperate. It's gonna pump a frequency because the people at Gilly Fest, they want to get revenge for the son getting murdered, right? So for next 2 times, that white nigga from Boston, Moneybag Yo, right? And who else is over there? Babyface Ray. And what's that? Peasy? They're gonna help whoever's in the audience that needs that. You know what I mean? They need some fire and some blood to pump them up.
Push, right?
They need that extra push. They need that extra battery and whatnot. They're gonna get it right at the fest. Even with all of the peace. Brothers, we gotta stop the violence. All right, coming up next, Moneybag Yo. You know what I mean? Coming up next, Peasy with the 2 Millie song. If that's your man, go and pick him up. You know what I mean? All of that. They not gonna sing their songs, Blue. They hit songs is murder music.
No, I already know. I never said anything contrary to the fact.
I know you
I
ain't
know
say that.
exactly what's gonna take. I'm just saying the hypocrisy of it is glaring, and you know what I mean. We should not miss the opportunity to point the hypocrisy out because you're never gonna get to a solution spinning your wheels like that. You know what I'm saying? And if a solution is not what we're looking for, then don't waste my time. You feel me? With the selective outrage. Let's just say, yo, this is the culture. You feel me? This is what we get off on. A nigga die every day,
Right.
B. They keep that same energy. A nigga die every day, B. Right?
Mm.
Somebody else's child is cool, but when it's yours, it's personal, and we supposed to all
It's cool when
agree.
they do it.
You know, these
It's a
are all
problem
of
when I
our
do
babies.
it.
And I'm just saying, I'm spending time around these children, and I'm just like, if we don't declare to go to war for them, then we have really, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get swallowed by this shit because it is a blob, and it surrounds them at you know what I'm saying, around every corner. It's what they're listening to. It's what they're swimming in.
They
It's
clone
the frequency.
Tyrone.
They
Yeah,
clone
they
Tyrone.
clone Tyrone.
Frequency.
Niggas is so far gone that
You feel me? It's the
there's no
frequency.
solutions
Yeah,
at this point.
right. So, but I'm looking at these babies and I'm just like, yo, you know what I mean?
Hold on.
If
Yes,
if that,
somebody was asking. He put this together before his son got killed, fam. He didn't
yeah,
cancel it because he wanted to, keep that shit going. But they put this roster together a minute ago. His son just got killed. But go ahead, Blue.
yeah. I mean, I ain't
So
gonna
he's saying that the youngins need
yeah,
us. They need us to approach this issue that's eating them up as if we're going to war against it. You're saying that there needs to be an aggressive front to protect the safety of
yeah,
the little
yeah,
ones coming up.
and the babies they just need to see that. At this point in their
Right.
lives, they need to see somebody was willing to put it on the line to defend them, to say, I'm willing to go to war for peace. I'm willing to go to war to sustain peace on behalf of these children, that they have a chance, right, to grow up on their terms without, them being fed to a prison pipeline or this, you know what I'm saying, this machismo machine that grinds them up and spits them out. You know what I
The
mean?
hierarchy. What do AA
Yeah,
call it?
the dominant hierarchy.
The
You
dominant
feel me?
hierarchy.
Bullying them into submission to become something that, you know what I'm saying, they ain't signed up here to become. It's
Right.
like, nah,
You've been watching
um,
Herbo on Math?
who?
G Herbo on $1 million worth of game.
Nah.
Nah, I fucks with it. Go and check that out. G Herbo
My
goes
fuck.
in. He
Yeah.
has a head on his shoulders that I probably didn't give him credit for prior to hearing him talking. But yeah, he one of them
Um,
ones.
JFK Jr. need an AI machine.
I know, because I had to turn that shit off. I can't do his voice.
Yeah.
He
I
needs to
turned
go
it
in
off.
with Beanie and them. He was dropping
Yeah.
shit too.
I
But it's
know, but I
like I
couldn't.
feel his pain when he's in pain.
Yeah. His shit is transferable.
Yeah, his shit is epigenetics. Like that shit jumping off on me. I'm like, yo, babe, bring me some. Oh, why am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Nigga stepped on his throat chakra. Yeah, he need that shit on his throat. He need the AI, the AI,
Yeah.
the baby.
The
He need
AI.
one of these. Yeah, he need one of these. He needs to go see Uncle Hank and get the fucking AI in that bitch, change up his vocals.
Yeah,
Cause that
AI.
ain't it, fam.
Yeah, that nigga. That
This
nigga need
nigga try to run for president. I don't want to see the debate because I know the debate is gonna be smoky, but it's like you gonna get, you know what I mean? If Trump got, if he got to go up against Trump, it's gonna be crazy. You're gonna eat his food. It's like a bad versus, my nigga. You know.
Nah.
But he
And
was dropping it though. He got information.
like, son got bars.
Got bars. You know what I mean?
And
And he
got bars and he can
he
disrupt.
comfortable around the brothers.
Yeah.
But them niggas was dressed up. Do you know why? Can you tell me why? He wearing regular shit. These niggas got on like they Sunday clothes.
I mean, you know
Did
what
they
that
come
is.
from somewhere or something?
Nah, you know what that is.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, them folks coming to see us. Make sure we on our best behavior and we got our shit buttoned up.
If I
And we
ever
might-
go in there, them niggas gotta wear white. Yeah. This is gonna be Michael Rubin. I need the all white party. You niggas gotta dress up if we pull up. Y'all niggas put your hard bottoms on for Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? For Kennedy.
Glory.
Yeah, but he got bars. Salute to Robert F. Kennedy. I love the legacy that he's upholding. You know,
Some got bars. Some can be a disruptor.
yeah,
You know
he
what
got
I mean?
it.
It should be interesting because he's gonna throw some haymakers.
He damn sure is. He ain't scared. Him and Ice Cube is on the campaign right now.
He gonna loosen some enamel up. You feel me? He gonna loosen some enamel up.
Yeah. You been catching Cube on the road?
Here and there.
The Cube train?
I haven't sat through anything, you know, the whole situation.
Yeah, he needs to set off the fire alarm. He tippy toeing with it.
Yeah. The Tucker Carlson, I want to check that out.
Okay,
Yo,
I didn't see that.
Shout out to the brother from Boston who got to the bag. Jalen Brown.
Oh, yeah, Jalen Brown. Remember we was in Boston talking heavy? He probably was in the audience. Yeah, shout out to Jalen. Said he want to bring Black Wall Street to Boston. It's doable. Fuck that. I was gonna shit on the idea, but it's doable because what potentially can happen is all of those other celebrities that was retweeting and saying this is a great idea. Y'all are the investors. He already laid it out. He got a big bag. Y'all would be the investors. And when I was in Boston, I was like, this shit needs something, man. There was something missing. I'm like, I was all in a Chinatown.
Us. That's what's missing. A level of industry is
don't leave that. Yeah, Blue Ridge, Blue Hill. That can't be the only place that y'all repping in that city.
It's built for industry,
big time,
and it got it. You know what I mean? Like I think that Black Tech can do an amazing job up there. You feel me? And I would have to really go back and immerse myself in the community to be like, oh, you know, I can see this, that, or the other. Other than that, I'm freestyling. But
wait, Doc just had him on the phone? See, that's crazy. That means he tapped in.
No, I already know. I know how he's tapped in. I know directly how he's tapped in.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, so you know that.
I know exactly how he's tapped in. And it's closer than you think. So, yeah.
Wasn't Kyrie in Boston?
I don't know.
Kyrie comes out of Boston before he went on his trade tour. He was a Boston Celtic.
Right.
Before he came to Brooklyn. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it's all good, man. Salute to Urban X. Salute to Black Magic. Salute to everybody out there, KT. Everybody doing the work, busting their guns. Shout out to Sauce Guard. Like I said, the show with Sauce Guard and Perp, that is coming up. All right. Let me play these commercials real quick because we have classes with Chicago Crypto Block Bully, and we got classes with Ra Aku on the Patreon and whatnot. These brothers are smashing. They coming through doing the damn thing. Salute to them. All right. So let's get to this commercial real quick, and then we'll be back.
Join us every Sunday, 4:44 p.m. Eastern, only on Patreon, as we welcome Chicago Crypto Block Bully technical analysis.
Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here. Welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin. So
understanding technical analysis can mean the difference between buying here and buying here. And that's why I've decided to create price action, the movement of an asset or security's price over time plotted on a chart. All-time high, ATH, the highest an asset has ever been in price. Support, a point in the market where the price is less likely to drop below due to previous demand or price action. Resistance, a point in the market where the
You will learn behavioral economics. You will study historical market data. You will be able to identify trading opportunities. You will be able to evaluate any investment and many, many more. Please join us on Red Pillar's Patreon. Peace.
That's right. Make sure y'all sign up to the Patreon. Pull up. All right. We got some powerful classes and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Go and check that high level conversation with the African prince. Fire.
You got a lineup.
Fire. He was spitting. He was spitting. You know what I'm saying?
Check that out.
So when people like Jaylen Brown see that, when these players see that, it's going to spark something, because that's the sauciest I've ever heard an African talk on the internet since I've been watching them. You feel me? And I'm not saying that he's the one and he's the only one, but he was talking spicy and he was very confident in what the fuck he was saying. He was standing on it. So yeah. Anything that you want to leave him with?
Again, I got retreats coming up. We're going back to Mount Shasta. That's at shastamedicine.com. Hope I got that right. And we are going to Sedona, right? We are going back to Sedona.
Sedona.
And I got to get you the actual site for that.
Right.
Shasta Meditation, my bad.
Right. ShastaMeditation.com.
Yep.
And when is the Shasta trip?
August 31st to September 4th. Yeah, ShastaMeditation.com. And
let's put together a show where you could bring some of your some of the team members and we could promote it on the show. I'm very interested in doing that.
Absolutely. We'll put it together.
All right.
We'll lay it out.
Jaylen was associated with Kanye. Okay. That's what's up. All right, so that's what it is. All right. Once again, y'all, midnight, Sauce God. Okay. The brother will be here previewing the new album by Free Soul. It's lit. All right. It's lit. All right. So with that being said, we are going. We will see you Melanin Monday or prior to that. You never know. And if anybody wants to watch the review, how many hours was that? 7.
Yeah.
We gave y'all 7 hours for American God 7. 777. American God 7. And gave your ass 7 hours. Pure, unadulterated information, high level decoding. The brother Blue Pill came in there and busted his gun. Sauce God opened it up and I closed it out. It is available on KTLUniversity.com. Same price as it was before. Go ahead and get that. Would you say, Blue?
Also want to say, if you are in the Miami, Florida area this Sunday, I will be at the Billy Carson Awards Show, Conscious Awards Show. So I'm pulling up to that. All right.
Yes, sir. All right.
You're in the building if y'all out there. Until then, salute.
Peace.
Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo.
Should I go out there and shoot my video to Miami? We'll think about it. Let's go.
Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coconut bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, like through your land. Hopping the sprinters, Tour of the underworld, popping the mentor. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse we do smashing, kicking the door. Wave on 4 force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They go up in the Dumbo, smoking the gumbo. Few blocks before green, yet up in the jungle. Coking the bundles, it's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands, I'm riding in vans. Slide through your land, hopping the sprinters. Tour of the underworld, popping the mentor. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse we do smashing, kicking the door. Wave on 4 force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning flooded the bright lane. The hunger was biting, hunger was biting.